All right, party pundits, we popping back in. We want to give some attention to some news that is pretty new within the boxing circles, and this is what were the failed negotiations between Teofimo Lopez and Ryan Garcia. So apparently, Teofimo Lopez was given a lowball offer from Ryan Garcia, where he was only offered $1.5 million to take on Ryan Garcia. You got to keep in mind, so Ryan Garcia made what his around 30 million for his last fight
He
against
made a ton of money.
he made a ton of money. And so one thing that I want to use as a kind of a springboard for this conversation is the fact that Teofimo Lopez stated that, that him being the man, that he, would not take an offer such as this lowball offer that Ryan Garcia um, provided to him. But to me, I think that just by the fact that you are getting offers and you're not the one that's providing the offer, to me, categorically states that you are not the man in there. But so Boston, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, I want to give Teofimo his props. He's done a great job of resurrecting his career, but maybe there's some issue of Top Rank not putting him in the position that he thinks that he needs to be in.
I think you hit the nail on the head with that one. And for anybody who has been following the social media activity of Teofimo Lopez, you have seen it. It appears as though he is at odds with the people, the decision makers over there at Top Rank / ESPN. And to be clear for the audience, look, there wasn't a whole lot of specifics that came out of that article that's on Boxing Scene, but the long and the short of it was Teofimo got offered $1.5 million, $1.5 million for a potential mega fight with Ryan Garcia. Now, it wasn't clear who provided that offer to him. To me, that sounds like the type of offer that would come from a Bob Arum or somebody over there on that side of the street. But yeah, look, he turned it down. And to Cam's point, look, he's the one that's receiving offers and not making them. So maybe he needs to maybe rethink where he is in the superstar hierarchy of the sport, especially in relation to guys like Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis. Look, even a Devin Haney at this point, who is working on his second pay-per-view and going into a title fight in his second weight division. So yeah, I don't know what to make of this situation. Look, he tried to run off a year and a half ago and make a fight with Triller for a bunch of money, and the fight got delayed 6, 7, 8, 9 times, never came to fruition, and he ended up right back on ESPN fighting against George Kambosos and losing on ESPN. So I don't. That couldn't have helped his relationship with the people who manage him over there at Top Rank. Trying to run to a different network, a rival company, and make a mega fight, given his contractual obligations, probably did not endear him to the people at Top Rank. And maybe that played a factor into whatever this offer was that got made.
Yeah, and he's probably not the easiest person to negotiate with because of his father or whatnot. And after not after his latest loss, he only has one loss, but after his loss to Kambosos, his father and him, went after Eddie Hearn and accused them of sabotage. And I mean, it was kind of
Tough to
weird.
take Teofimo. Tough to take Teofimo Senior seriously. My opinion. He could be a great dad, but businessman, and it's just tough to take the guy seriously. Tough to take him seriously.
So, Coach Dave, what are your thoughts on this fight that kind of broke down? I'm not sure how serious was the offer, because I mean, Ryan is fighting in with the next couple of weeks against Oscar Duarte, right?
Oscar Duarte, right? And we don't know when the negotiations happen. So this could have been post post
Okay.
Tank, right? We just don't know.
All right. Go ahead, coach.
Yeah, man. So it's just kind of hard to say. I think just not knowing, where Teofimo and his dad is at. But to be honest with you, though, I mean, 1.5 is, that, I do think he wanted a little bit more than that. You know what I mean? Just.
Shakur Stevenson made $4 million against Edwin De Los Santos.
So I mean, but my point is, I mean, you look at who he been in the ring with, who he's fought, Lomo, Kamboza, whatever, even back when those guys was what was it, 130, 135 or whatever it was, he's always been a top name. He's been in the conversation. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how do you not talk about, Hagler, Leonard, Hearns, and Duran and not talk about just doing them right money wise. So I see that the same thing. How do you not talk about, Tank, Haney, Teofimo, Garcia without doing them right? So I ain't even saying it should have been 4 million, but I think 1.5 is definitely a little bit low, man. At a minimum 2.25, bro. So that's my take on it in terms of just fairness, if that makes sense, bro. Plain simple for me.
I think that there's different mechanisms that you can put into there or whatnot. I don't, 1.5 is, I mean, because based on just numbers and popularity, I mean, RYAN GARCIA can say that he's the A-side, which really kind of makes no sense because he's coming off a loss. But if you have opportunities to make money off of back end, you can basically say that, all right, so you're gonna be able to get paid off of your popularity or whatnot. So if we hit these certain thresholds, then you're gonna get this money. That's a part of it. But I think it seems like RYAN GARCIA wasn't willing to give up any money on the back end. Because
if it was Golden Boy that made the offer, we don't know that it was Golden Boy that made that offer.
That's a
the,
good
the last thing I'll say on this is this: if I'm Teofimo, it's tough to not look at the money that my peers are making and use that as a barometer to gauge any potential offer. Like I just mentioned, you look at guys like Shakur Stevenson, who apparently made $4 million plus for Edwin De Los Santos for a vacant title shot. You're looking at guys like Ryan and Tank, who are making tens of millions of dollars fighting each other. I don't know how much Devin Haney is making for the Prograis fight. I guarantee it was more than $1.5 million. It's tough to not look at what your peers are making, compare their accolades and accomplishments and their value as boxing commodities, and contrast it with your own. So I don't think Teofimo's being unreasonable here when it comes to these failed negotiations. Based off the
I definitely agree
have.
with you. I would say that a lot of times you can you can make a certain offer that implies that you really don't want to make this fight at this time. I mean, RYAN GARCIA was coming off of a loss, and then you got Teofimo Lopez, who is based off his last fight, is in some of the best form that he's been in the last few years. So it's that what you do is you make an offer that you know that they're not going to take. In the sense, you can save face a little bit, but it's an offer saying that you really don't want to make this fight at this time.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.